The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. Hey everybody, thank you for finding us, the Low Fact Podcast. That's who we are. I'm Dave.
And I'm Methuselah.
Right. Okay, Methuselah.
Mm-hmm.
You have any knowledge bombs to drop on anybody today?
Nope.
Of course not. You know why? Because he's a Kiwi.
Hey man, there's plenty of geniuses from my country.
Anyway, because that's just too easy, I figure we get right on to it. I guess we could talk about your favorite subject, right?
Politics?
Well, it's part of it, but there's been a lot of stuff kind of coming about the whole coronavirus stuff, and
Oh yeah, you've been reading up on it.
no, not necessarily. But there's a whole lot of stuff that's been coming up because, and I'm not gonna cite to anything or talk about anything in particular because you guys can kind of do that on your own. But it's kind of funny how if you listen to what is called, if you just listen to the news and the media that's easy, they all say one thing, and then if you take a not very difficult step and look for other stuff, they tell you other stuff.
The complete opposite.
Well, not necessarily the complete opposite, but there is, there's this whole thing about politics and follow the science and, just all kinds of junk coming out over it. And because there's plenty of stuff out there on either side about what's right, what's wrong, blah, 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 I'd rather talk about what I think the real thing is, the real issue of it.
Okay.
The real issue of the coronavirus and various countries, especially this country, the United States, the reaction to it, even among the states, right? I mean, something like 8 states decided to say, screw it, we're not going to do anything about it.
Which I didn't realize it was that many.
And, there are a lot of other states that said we're going to hunker down for 15 days to slow the spread. And
that turned into 6 months.
7. So, several hundred days later, a lot of places are still kind of hunkered down. And
a lot of businesses don't exist anymore.
And again, this is all stuff that's that's been talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And there's plenty of information out there. What I want to talk about is what I think is going on.
Okay.
And it's a 2-stage thing.
All right. I'm all ears, bro.
Yeah, you do have a big ass head. It's fear and bribery. Which one do you want to talk about first? Because I think this is going to end up being a 2-parter. So, whatever we talk about on this podcast, we'll talk about the other one on the next podcast.
Well, let's talk about bribery. That sounds cool.
Okay, so in the reaction, the government's reactions to what's been going on, kind of makes the statements that the governments all say, or the people that run for government office, the claims that they make, the president's the leader of the free world, or, people that are elected, they are elected leaders. They keep on throwing out that word leader.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a load of BS 10 stories tall.
It's a whole lot of BS.
Yeah, well, it's probably taller than that, but I'm just saying 10 stories because I don't think you can stack shit that high.
That is a ton of shit. Well, it's probably more than a ton of shit.
But I think throughout history, the people that call themselves our betters, the leaders, quote unquote, of which I'm not of. I mean, I'm basically the guy at the bottom of the pile, at the very end of the line, shoveling everybody else's crap. But basically, the very few folks that have and share power treated people like me for a long, long time throughout history just by bullying, right? They had power, they had whatever, and what they would do is they would, beat me up and beat me and my ilk up and, maybe kill me and my ilk to let that be a lesson to everybody else, do what I say.
Mm-hmm.
So they held onto their power by bullying. Now they have to get it through bribery because, there's a lot of us and, they're not people aren't as great as we like to think we are. I think you and I had this conversation yesterday. I think people are basically just sheep. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're one of the unwashed masses like me, or you're the president of the United States, or the queen or the king or whoever, you, Lord Fancy Pants of Kiwia, whoever you are, in control or not, we're all sheep. This whole idea
How
that
can you be in control and be a sheep?
in the herd, right? You're not really in control. You might control your little herd, but it's just the herd. That's all the influence you have. There are people who sit there and think, well, I'm a wolf or I'm a sheepdog or I'm this. No, you're a sheep. Sheep follow other sheep. So there's no way that you can think that you're a leader or anything and not be a sheep. Right? So aside from that, that's the thing. It showed the reaction, the way that the state governments, some of the state governments have reacted, and some of the countries have reacted, have really shown me or illustrate to me that really it's about bribery, because all these people are sitting there screaming their heads off. Oh, what are we going to do? Oh, what are we going to do? Is coronavirus. And, there's a whole lot of, well, I guess this is going to bleed into the other one, but a whole lot of fear came into the equation. And fear is contagious. And anyone that sits there and says that they don't have fear is full of crap. They're either dead or lying to you, or, a psycho.
You mean like fear generally?
Everybody has fear. Fear is something that you cannot get rid of.
I thought but you're not specifically talking about fear of the coronavirus. Because there's people that are super, super afraid, and there's people that don't seem to be that fearful of it at all.
Right. But if they're not that fearful about it, they just don't think it's going to affect them, right? Like I said to you before a while ago, nobody's scared of death unless death is staring them in the face.
Uh-huh.
The second death comes up and nudges alongside you and be like, hey, what's up? You go from being like, I don't care about death. Death be not proud. I'm going to kick death in the ass. Death shows up and you're like, please don't kill me.
That sounds like a Family Guy episode.
Probably.
That is a Family Guy episode.
Is it?
Death shows up at the house.
Okay, yeah, well, that's right.
And then he starts hanging out, and then Peter figures out that if Death's in the house, then he can't die.
Right. Oh, yeah, and then all of a sudden nobody dies. But yeah, so that's the thing. The whole bribery... That's the one thing, the first thing that came to mind, because, the people that...
So what's the bribery part?
Well, right now is the bribery, right? Okay, you're so...
we're going to we're going to send you a check.
You're so freaking scared. Here, we'll do what you want. You let us play around with your lives and take all your money and do whatever we want and treat you like a load of crap. Mm-hmm. Here's your little biscuit.
$1,200.
No. Here's your little biscuit. Coronavirus is dangerous. Ooh, you need to be scared for your life. It's good that you want to hide somewhere or whatever.
How is that a biscuit? How is that a bribery or a biscuit? Them telling you that something is freaking scary.
It's giving you what you want.
Fear?
Fear is not what they want. They've already got the fear. They're telling you that your fear is acceptable. Yeah, justified. I was going to say acceptable, but your word is better.
And because when I was thinking bribery, I was thinking cash money.
Well, they give you that too.
Right.
Your fear is
justified. We're going to cut you a check, and we're going to cut you another check.
Your fear is justified. You need to hide out in a hole until everything is over. It's so justified. You're so right. Here's $1,200 if you don't make that much money. Or hey, your fear is so justified, and because you're unemployed, you can get unemployment, and here's extra money on top of that because you're right. You're right to stay home and all that. And I'm not.
Those people were clearing like almost $4,000 a month.
Those people were making more money than if they had a job of making $50,000. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not sitting here poo-pooing anybody. If you're scared of the coronavirus, you're scared of the coronavirus.
Yep.
It's serious. People do die.
Yep.
I'm not saying that it's fake. I'm not saying that it's propaganda. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying what I've seen, and this is what I think is happening. The people in power are utilizing the fear of many people to, stay. And if you think about it, what happens during elections? Vote for me and you'll get all this crap. So it's all about bribery now. Whereas before it was, I'm better than you, do what I tell you or I'll kill you.
Right.
So that's kind of what I see as the evolution of government.
That sucks. I hate all those ads where they're saying shit like that.
Oh. So is that it for the first part?
It can be.
I guess we can talk about fear tomorrow
All right.
or next.